Hey there everyone, welcome to my stock market technical analysis channel. I'm going to go through the broad markets. We're going to look at some trade ideas, try to find out where these markets are going and how to trade them. So if you're new to the channel, really all we cover is technical analysis in this channel. We look for trade ideas. Follow along. I hope you find some value. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you for following along and leave me a thumbs up before you check out. All right, guys, we're going to start out with the triple Qs tech sector. A couple things to look at. We've got on this daily chart, we've got this trend line right up here that looks like we're going to back test, but you never know. We might not actually back test it. We do have, this is coming off your March 2020 lows, and it's an uptrend right there. See that uptrend line? We recently broke trend, and it looks like we're coming in for a back test. Now, do we get there in just one shot? Do we dip back below, hit some support, then bounce up and back test? It's hard to say. So we got to watch the price action. Couple things to know on the the Qs is we're watching the futures right now because I noticed here on the SPY futures ES we had this uptrend line here on the hourly, and we recently just broke trend right today, basically this morning. So that's actually a sell signal. But if I look at the NQ, the NASDAQ futures haven't broke trend yet on the hourly chart. So not a sell signal there. We do have it on the SPY futures, but I'd like to see it across the board before really thinking that we're going to get any kind of more selling. So going back to the Qs, I'm still flat the Qs. I took a day trade this morning and shorted the open, but I'm out of that and I'm basically flat. So we're going to just go ahead and see what happens. Let's look at the SPY. SPY, we basically have been backtesting on the SPY right there at that trend line. It's marked in green. That comes off your March 2020 low, so that's your daily uptrend. You can see we held support, finally broke. So there's your sell signal. And we've had, we backtested here and we're backtesting here. So I think it's likely we're going to get rejected somewhere in this area and start to move down. So we'll watch that. And that kind of lines up with the SPY futures breaking down as well. So if we start to get selling coming in because of this backtest on the SPY, and then the Q starts to break down, we could have, that might be all that there is for this bounce, and we're now going to, head substantially lower. All right, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I don't think we're going too much higher in the markets. We could run up and make a new all-time high, which isn't too much further up here. So we could hold and maybe tomorrow make a new high and then reject. That's completely possible as well. So we just got to watch the price action. And we're right in the area where I think it's going to get rejected, but there is the potential to go slightly higher. And of course, there's always the potential to go a lot higher. Nobody knows really where the markets are going. We're just using the trend lines to be our guide here. So watch those. Let's take a look at some of these trade ideas that I've covered. Carvana is just rallying right now. You can see Carvana's just been kind of going sideways for quite some while. Had a brief dip below the 200, but they recovered it. So, in the short term, that's bullish. I still think we're likely going to head lower down to about 175 over time. But again, it's rallied over the last week or so. But DraftKings, all right, this one looks like a good short, and it really was a good short yesterday towards the end of the day. And today, you can see that we basically on the daily, they ran right into this trend line, which was resistance. You can see that comes back all the way to back here in July 2020, held support. Finally, we broke. Nice impulsive breakdown, but coming in for a back test. So that's an objective area to short. I did take a short on this. And I'm looking for DraftKings actually at this point probably to roll all the way down to 35.30 as the next level of support. So I like that. And you can see it's getting rejected so far today. So that looks good. Another one, Snap. You can see here, Snap has this downtrend line, and it's had 3 reactions where it was rejected. They traded right up into it. And if you look at the hourly, you can see what they did. Popped it just slightly above that trend line, but now it's being sold back below. So I would say that's a reaction, and definitely, this is proving to be resistance because we're seeing that reaction come into play. So I'm looking for this to hold, and going back to the daily on Snap, if we get rejected here, I am looking for it to roll down at least to the 200-day moving average, but probably lower. And my ultimate target for Snap is all the way down here at this gap fill. I think we're going to trade over months, I don't know how long it'll take, but down to about $29 is really where I'm looking for Snap to head to. And I'll likely cover that trade as we start to, fall into those ranges. Starbucks. So Starbucks has a nice cleanup trend coming back from really the April 2020 lows. Cleanup trend line there. There's your sell signal. And looks like we've gotten a back test. You can go slightly higher, but we're really in the area where the seller should start stepping in and selling this thing down. So looking for this to get rejected somewhere in this area. I like it still to the downside. First level of support, really about 101.30, and the 200-day moving average is down there as well. Here's one, Mosaic Company, and you can see big negative divergence on this one. That's been building for quite some time. And we have a trend line, nice clean up trend line from the March 2020 lows, held support all through here. And basically, we've just been chopping around, really losing a lot of steam. I think this one's going to go. There's no sell signal yet, but it does look like it's imminent, possibly today, or likely going to come in the form of a gap down. But I think this trend line is going to break. And if it breaks, first level support's about 29.40, 29.38, right in there. So we'll watch that. And, if it breaks, that's a trade of, that's 16.5%. So we'll watch that. I like that so far. BYD, Boyd Gaming, continues to flag out. So just continues to bear flag. I think, this is starting to get relatively extended. So I think we should have a resolution here pretty quick. And probability says we resolve to the downside. So nothing's really technically changed on this. We had an uptrend line. At the top of the trend, we had a divergent high. You can see the negative divergence on the RSI and the PPO. We wait for a break of trend. There's your break of trend. And now we have a sell signal. So we sell down, we bear flag, we continue. That's what I see in this one. And really, I don't see anything else right now. There's lots of setups. Financials are set up to sell off to the downside, but we're waiting for the sell signal. So when I see the trade and I start to see the sell signal play out, I'll put it out in the video. Otherwise, you got the charts from the past, so you can watch those. AMD, we'll just wrap with that one. Again, someone asked me about it. Look, it's just sideways. At this point, we're waiting for a breakdown of this. It's about 73, 75 or so. We're waiting for a break of that trendline support. You can see all the times we held support. So we're just waiting for a break of that. And that's our next sell signal to trade down to $59. All right. So nothing going on until we see that. This thing could continue to trade sideways. I'm going to wrap it up here. And I will get this out if I see anything kind of show up today. And I think there is the potential for a lot of trades to start triggering very soon. So I'll put out after the market close videos or end of the day close videos. Try to get that out before the market closes if I'm seeing any sell signals show up. All right, guys, leave me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.